Lads, welcome back to another episode at BTP where I walk you through exactly how I service my tap sets. I'm a visual learner, so today I've decided to go the whole hog and set everything up. At the top here, we have our shower breaches. Notice how the spindles are closer together. Bath breach, outlet coming out the center, spindles far apart. Today the tap set we're servicing is a shower breach, and to add to the visual demonstration, I've put in the center rose and then also the lug to the shower head, to give some of you that have never seen behind a wall a visual demonstration. But on the left-hand side, we have our hot pipe. On the right-hand side, we have our cold. These are the taps that you turn. We've got the center breech T-piece going up, which goes to our shower head. If you haven't seen behind the wall, you don't really know how it works, so I decided to set it up. Let's dig into it. Now with the cosmetics off, before I service the tap set themselves, when the taps are in the off position, there is significantly more tension placed around this joint when we want to break the tension between the spindle body and the breech. So I always turn the taps before I even get started, always to the fully on position. And that way you can also make sure that you're not going to flood the house and you're definitely sure that the water's off. And now there's significantly less tension where this fibre washer is. And then we have a shifter to undo. That's one of two ways. There's another way with deep sockets, baby. Here we are. And this is for if it's been installed incorrectly and the breech itself is too far in the wall and the tiles sit back here and you can't get your shifter purchase onto it, you need these bad boys to get inside the wall. Pointy nose pliers will be your best friends throughout this process, not only to pull the washer out, but if the washer rubber itself has degraded and come apart, you can easily get your pointy nose pliers in here to pull the pieces out. Perfect example of a washer coming away from itself inside the breech. Pointy nose pliers in here. It's a bit of a process. There we go. Before I service the spindles, I tend to the surface inside the breech. This is what the existing breech looked like, and that's the new one. What was that wizardry, and how did it happen? That process was thanks to a device called a breech reseating device. This tool enables us to bring back the surface that the washer seals on back to a brand new standard. What can happen after many years of service is it can develop a crack in it, and no matter how many times you change the washer, because you're not actually addressing the issue, it will continue to leak. So we chuck this device in, we put our drill on the end. You can also get hand versions, but man, you just, as a professional, I'm not fucking sitting there all day twisting it with my hand. It is so frustrating. Save yourself the time. You've already probably got a drill, just buy the thing. Really not a problem. Bam, that's how it's done. Now, there's a little bit more nuance than that, and let's break it down. Now, working in the field, rarely do I encounter a situation where I need to reseat the breech, but 100% of the time I do anyway. As a service provider, actually funny story, as an apprentice, I used to go do rentals and just smash these out all day. And I used to view reseating the breech as an optional part. You know, I'd stick my finger in and feel for the crack. If I felt a crack, I'd work on it. But then I started to get a few callbacks, and then I would go back to them and think, fuck, I don't want to come back here for a third time. I'll just machine the seat and we'll be done with it and service it all. And then I never got a call back from there. So I started putting two and two together thinking, man, I should just reseat the breech every single time. Now, that can be annoying, and let me explain a few tips to you. And this is a perfect segue. So let me tell you why I have 3 different types of heads, 4 of the same one. Doing this, and especially by yourself, with 2 people, it's such an easy process, and I'll explain why in regards to cleaning this out. If you don't clean the breech out after you've done this, you're a hack. I don't even want you watching this video. You can hang up right now. Don't even stop. I'm serious. Don't even stop fucking... I said stop. All right. Now those cunts are gone. Let's get back into it. This process can be quite messy, and let me explain the determining factors. 1, being the amount of meat you need to take away in the breech. But 2, the main one, being the aggressiveness of the head. A brand new head is so aggressive. I prefer to use a head that's been worn out and had years of service, as this takes the bare minimum material away, which preserves the breech life, but also creates less mess. And let's talk about the mess. If you've encountered a breech that has a crack in it, and you've had to take a serious amount of material away, you'll notice that there's so many brass filings that are inside this. Few tips here. 1, I love some toilet paper. Wet toilet paper, sticking it in, twisting it to get the brass shards out. Even a rag in itself, you know, try and get all the shards you can out with your hands. But in regards to the purging process, 2 men, it's great because you can have one inside the building and then the other one on the phone talking to you, loudspeaker while he's on the meter. One guy inside spotting everything, making sure it's safe. Leaving these off, just cracking the water on enough to have the water spill out and to clean this process. You can even put your hands over it a little bit, let it fill up throughout here, take them off, drain back out, and you can keep the shower head on. But by yourself, it's a bit more technical than that. As an apprentice, I've tried so many things to try and get around this. First off, what I used to do is just chuck everything back in and just turn the washers off like normal, laughing. But what would happen is with all those brass shards in between the breech and now the washer, they get embedded into the surface of the washer, which just wrecks the job. You gotta pull it all apart and do it again. So what I do now, take the shower head off by myself. If I can, get a few easy hookers, maybe 3 connected down, lay them down there, and then I'll put my spindles back in and leave them on, and then go to the washer. And then I head down to the water meter and turn it back on for 30 to 45 seconds, knowing and double checking that this is most certainly the only outlet on. Lads, having run those taps for 30 to 45 seconds, this is what you're gonna come inside and see, the old spindles with the old washers in. We do this process first because we don't muck up the new components when they're freshly serviced. Let's get into the service themselves, baby. Gents, let's take a seat. Welcome to the office. We have the existing spindles with the existing washers. Let's discard those in the bin. Spindles and fiber washers, we always replace them. Get a knife in between, work them loose. Love it. The other one too, knife in between, work it loose. Love it. And from here, I get my fancy T-piece. Love this tool, essential. I remove the spindle. Remember, before we even get to that process, let me explain something to you. This right here is an O-ring in the spindle itself, and you've got the threads, which is the mechanism that winds the spindle in and out. Once this O-ring fails, you'll see water leaking from the top here. If you ever see it leaking out the top of cosmetics, this has failed. But what happens in this process is the O-ring fails, allowing water to work its way up the threads, corroding them. If it doesn't have grease, it's going to corrode really quickly. If it does have grease, you prolong the period. But what happens is water comes in, up past this perished O-ring, in through the threads, gunks them up and corrodes them. Now we need to clean them. And now, pulling it all apart, clean all the grease off of it. Look at that, disgusting. Let's get some more. Clean it all up. And I even get my fingernail in the side of the toilet paper and try and get it in the threads as well. If we're really gonna do it, let's do it with love,
Also, to this next one, pull it out, clean all the grease off.
We primarily clean the grease off now so we don't get all the tools dirty in our hands and fingers. Now I get my wire brush and I clean in the crevices. Love it. Here we go. And if you're really fancy in this process, this guy here, and then also on the other threads on the outside. I should really have some safeties on right now. But I like to do this just so the cosmetics fit back on a bit easier. You'll be surprised, especially if it's been leaking from the top, this will all be corroded on. The amount of times that the cosmetic is sealed on because it's been leaking for so long, it's a nuisance. I will in fact actually go one step above and put tap lube on the cosmetics when I'm done, so the next guy coming can take it off easier. And it's usually me, because I wow them. Now, we take the O-ring out. You always replace the O-ring as well. Bada bing, bada boom. And then once I pull the O-ring off, I then clean it again. Why, you ask? Because it can never be too clean. Now can it? This with the legit rag. Clean it all up. Love it. Now what we have here is clean components and a clean slate. Now let's get started. From here, I grab my tap and die set, which is right in front of me. And from here, I now course correct the threads. This being steel, this being brass, the steel is stronger than brass. So it will always course correct the threads. We're talking metal energy. I always suck with that word. But we twist it in and out a few different times to clean the corrosion off and also course correct the threads. This is the main thing that the clients feel. When they turn their tap on, all they know is does it work, does it not work, and does it feel better than beforehand? And this is the thing that makes the taps feel dynamite, baby. I love it. This is the nitty gritty, baby. If you haven't got these tools, you ain't a real plumber. I can tell you that right now. Here we go. Now, once this is clean, we then move on to the spindles themselves. Now, there's two components to this. The spindle body, which is this, and then the spindle itself. Now I will grab the die. There we go. Work it through. Love it. And because we've cleaned all this, we're not getting our tools absolutely gunky. If beforehand we didn't clean all the grease off, your tools just turn to shit. These threads aren't too bad at all, but we run it through, clean it, course correct it, love it. And from here, like any good tradesman, clean your tools before you put them back in. Cardinal sin, don't ever borrow my fucking tools and give them back to me dirty. From here, brand new, clean spindles, O-ring on, O-ring on, love it. Leave them there, fiber O-ring on, fiber O-ring on. Set them aside, they're done. From here, what I will do, grease, let's get up and above.
Grease in, cross, and then just a little bit more. I like my grease, baby. And that's one in, and those threads
are done. And whenever I finish servicing a tap set, I wind it to the fully on position. And I'll explain why later. Here we go again. There's a lot of grease there. I won't need to do a double take. There we go. Done! Now with the service fully done, we can install the washers. And this is exactly where you'd fuck up if you're doing this. Let's break it down for you. If you guys have ever turned a tap on and immediately, you know, this is gonna be funny, but as soon as you turn the tap on, it's douche, 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 you know, immediately, what goes on? Or you turn a tap on and it's so fucking annoying. What happens is, so how to fix that? With plastic washers, lads, what we do is we get the end. This is such a tech tip here for you. Crimp it a little bit wider in the hole itself, and it will jam in there, baby. It's a bit of a dog. There you go. And now, ain't no way, baby. With the metal ones, there's two ways that I go about it. One, I pack a heap of grease in it. And the second one, which I prefer, is cut seam, baby. Now, fellas, toe ball, brass, steel, brass, we've learnt that. Bam, stronger, wide open.
This is significantly more finesse than the other one, but this will fit in there. You just got to be accurate.
Ta-da! Ain't no way, baby. Congratulations. If you've made it this far, you've successfully serviced a tap set. And you might be asking yourself, Mr. BTP, before you mentioned you always leave the taps in the on position, why is that? As an apprentice, I made this mistake once and I will never make it again. With the tap in the fully on position, the spindle is wound all the way out, meaning you can just screw it in easy peasy, baby. But when it's halfway in and halfway out in the off position, you might do it up and feel like it's done, but because the washer's all the way out, it will fail before it's done it properly. I've done this before, left sight, the customer's turned his tap on and then realized, oh fuck, I've bargained for way more than I bought. I made a mistake that day and I will never make that mistake again. So don't you make it either. Gents, now that you've made it to the end, let's do a quick little recap and I'll give you a tech tip at the very end. In regards to a tap service, you know, contrary to popular belief, it's not just a washer. And now that you've done a deep dive through the process, you'll understand that if you just change the washer, you're stitching the client up, it could be the breech inside that needs reseating. And then all the other components have also been in service for 5, 10, 15 years. We're talking the fiber O-ring, the O-ring itself on the spindle, the threads that need to be course corrected and re-greased. There's a lot of components and moving parts to a tap set. And in regards to the last final tip, gents, something that I learned along the way, the penetration that you get through the spindles coming through the tiles needs to be siliconed, especially in wet areas. You think about showering, the water ricochets off your body and hits the walls, now comes down the walls. If the spindles and the penetrations aren't sealed, it's just going to work its way and ingress into the walls, causing a leak. Thanks for hanging around and thanks for stopping by.